up to speed with those stories that have been making headlines. And we start off with one of the stories that has already been captured on various dailies. It's about the national recruitment of 10,000 police officers scheduled to begin this Friday will now go on as earlier planned. Now, this is after 2 petitions that were filed at the Milimani High Court seeking to stop the exercise were withdrawn on Tuesday. Here's Ruth Wamboi with the details.
The planned recruitment of 10,000 police officers beginning Friday had been suspended by petitioners who demanded prior determination of the case overhaul between the National Police Service and the National Police Service Commission should handle the payroll system.
Having considered the input of our principals who instructed us,
they informed court that they had received over 20,000 calls and text messages urging them to abandon the petition.
So, my Lord, considering we are facing a general election in 2027 and the scarcity of police officers, the numbers that has dwindled, also those assigned duties outside the country like Haiti.
They further informed the court that they had come to a realization that suspension of the police recruitment will not be the best interest of Kenyans who deserve more police officers.
And these are instructions of the majority of the citizens of this country. May the court get favor with us, and if it agrees with us, it allows that application without costs.
Justice Mugambi allowed the withdrawal of the petitions.
I have listened keenly to the reasons by the petitioner and find no reason to deny the withdrawal. I thus grant the request to withdraw the 2 applications dated 9 September 2025 and 11 August 2025, as well as the petition with no orders as to costs. The file is hereby marked closed.
The nationwide recruitment exercise of 10,000 police constables will take between the 3rd and 9th of October 2025 in 416 centers across the country. Withdrawing the petitions on Tuesdays, the petitioners cited that many youths who want to join the police service have already traveled to the recruitment centers, and stopping the exercise at this moment will be in bad faith. Meanwhile, a magistrate court has ordered for a 10-day detention of 6 police officers accused of illegal possession and trafficking of firearms and ammunition to the volatile North Rift region pending investigations.
I therefore find merit in the application, and each of the respondents herein shall therefore be held in police custody at Capital Hill Police Station as sought for a period of 10 days from today's date, and the matter be mentioned on Thursday, 9th October 2025.
The officers were arrested on September 26, 2025 in Eldoret and Nairobi.
And so it means that exercise will proceed as earlier scheduled. Now, youth unemployment remains one of Kenya's biggest challenges. Kenyan graduates among the more than 12 million young Africans who enter the job market. This is according to the World Bank, which further says nearly 70% of the youth are currently stuck in low-quality jobs, with only about 3 million formal jobs created annually. Now, according to Principal Secretary Dr. Esther Moria, in charge of TVET, she said the government is transitioning education and training to be practical, demand-driven, and connected to industry in between the growing disquiet over unemployment. Here is Joseph Wahungu with the details.
Policymakers, educators and industry leaders from across Africa converged in Nairobi on Tuesday during the launch of Africa Skills for Job Policy Academy program. The program, to be funded by World Bank in collaboration with the government, is expected to help in diagnosing the job skills mismatch challenge, which is said to be the main cause of unemployment in the country.
Every year, around 15 million young African enter the labor force, but only about 3 million formal jobs are created. The gap pushes millions of young Africans into informality or leaves them out altogether.
Addressing delegates at the meeting, TVET Principal Secretary Dr. Esther Moria called for a shift-to-demand-driven training model that match skills into market needs.
We must train, they have already said that, job-specific skills, demand-driven training, and in my department, we love saying that we must train from industry, with industry, for industry.
Tourism Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano emphasized government's dual training approach, which includes linking classrooms with industry to provide hands-on experience for graduates.
Development of high quality and relevant skills has potential for socio-economic development and poverty alleviation. This is where reforms in skills development should prioritize practical and labor market relevant skills.
World Bank Vice President for People Mamta Murthy says the new Africa Skills for Job Policy Academy will help bridge gaps denying young people job opportunities.
We have this paradox that employers in Africa say that they can't find the skills that they need, and young people feel that they can't find the jobs that they want. We have decided to pivot our focus to jobs and skills for jobs, and this convening, this academy, is part of that pivot.
Now, away from matters of unemployment and a keen focus on a scourge, and that is unwarranted death, where a 16-year-old girl in Migori County died after seeking unsafe abortion. Odwor's incident highlights a pricing crisis in the country where young girls face life-threatening risks due to limited access to safe reproductive health services. And as Lavender's family is seeking justice and health advocates are calling for immediate action to address the systemic issues that put vulnerable girls in such a perilous situation.
In the quiet village of Mariwa, Migori County, a young life was tragically cut short. Lavender had dreams of becoming a teacher. However, during the December holidays, the Form 2 students' aspirations came to a devastating halt.
Sasa kufika on Monday ndio napata habari ya Lavender. Asubuhi kitu kama saa 11 kuelekea saa 12 hapo. Eti mama Lavender ako mgonjwa, anaenda kwa hospitali. Nikawauliza, Lavender mugani?
Lavender's story is not just a personal tragedy, but a reflection of a larger systemic crisis affecting young girls. Lavender's mother recalls her daughter as a vibrant and ambitious girl. But beneath her cheerful demeanor, Lavender was grappling with a secret, a 5-month pregnancy. Like many girls facing unplanned pregnancies, she felt trapped, fearing the stigma and judgment that could force her to abandon her education. In a desperate bid to keep her dreams alive, Lavender sought an unsafe abortion at a backstreet clinic, hoping to return to school without anyone knowing. Tragically, the procedure led to excessive bleeding, and the woman who performed it vanished, leaving Lavender in critical condition. By the time a local rider rushed her to the hospital, it was too late. Lavender's untimely death has become a heartbreaking symbol of the growing crisis in Migori County, where unsafe abortions claim the lives of many young girls and women.
Aliwekewa na huyo mama dawa kutoka kuwekwa kwa chini. Sasa vile alienda hospitali ilitoka na mtoto, ili ilijulikana ni ya hospitali. Sasa badala ya hiyo akakaa akaanza kutapika sasa dawa ya kienyeji. Ndio ilifanya tukasema inakaa huyu mama amempea dawa mara mbili, alipeana ya hospitali akarudi akapeana ya kienyeji.
Health advocates highlight the alarming rise in maternal deaths linked to illegal abortions, particularly among teenagers. They warn that without urgent interventions, more girls like Lavender will continue to suffer in silence. Their stories eventually buried with them.
Naweza sema ni kutokana na peer pressure. Wakati Lavender alipata mimba, wazazi hakuwa naishi na wazazi. Ni yule mtoto mwenye aliishi na nyanya na wazazi wakifanya kazi ya kutafuta nje. So what happened, wakati alipata mimba, marafiki zake kama peer pressure ndio walijua ya kwamba Lavender ana mimba.
Quite unfortunate, just looking at the issue of stigma and how far Kenya has come on matters of medical advancement. So when it comes to matters of either pro-life or pro-choice, it's thin line, and I'm sure in the course of this particular week on Good Morning Kenya, we are going to be addressing those issues, you know, matters of abortion. How can we ensure that we do not lose such young lives because of stigma and a process that might find its place currently as it is prohibited unless sanctioned due to health reasons. Now, before we speak or take a quick break, is that the Kenya Tea Development says suppressed tea bonuses have been sanctioned by international market dynamics and currency exchange movements. Here's details as prepared by Benson Rioba.
Week, tea farmers from tea growing zones have been up in arms over low tea bonus payment by the Kenya Tea Development Agency. KTDA says the reduced payout is due to a steady Kenyan shilling that traded at an average of 129 shillings from 144 shillings the previous financial year. The tea agency also says reduced demand from global markets and increased operational costs also negatively affected earnings. The payout discrepancies between the factories in the east and west of the Rift Valley are due to the quality of the green leaf. Zone 5 farmers were among the highest paid this year, with the 5 factories disbursing 5 billion shillings.
Ngine zimepoteza hata shilingi 10 ukilinganisha bei ya mwaka huu na mwaka uliopita. Kwa hivyo ukitazama peke yako utaona kama wewe ndio umeumia peke yako, lakini bei ziliteremka kwa jumla kutoka juu mpaka factory zote. Hakuna factory ambayo haikupoteza kitu comparing to last year.
On the other hand, tea union traders in Kisii are calling for the tea agency to review the bonuses upwards after some factories received a low of 14 shillings per kilo.
Mama chai wa Kisii county na Nyamira tuongeze kutoka pesa hizi siongezwe. Kavura tarehe 7 mwezi wa 10 siongezwe kutoka shilingi 10 hadi shilingi 25 35.
To reduce the cost of production, a section of leaders from the west of the Rift Valley are calling for special power tariffs for tea producers.
Tunashiaga chai usiku na tunajachiwa peak hours. Kwa upande hii walikatwa pesa zao na tukaambiwa, you know, cost of power katika tea factory zetu is one of the biggest drivers of the cost of production.
KTDA affiliated factories have been encouraged to increase production of orthodox tea to reduce incidences of unsold black CTC tea at the auctions that has brought down tea prices.
For us to be able to access new markets, then we must have new products for those new markets away from our traditional kind of production.